Hello traders, Gary Wagner here, just afternoon in Honolulu, 6 o'clock in New York. It is Thursday, last day of the month, May 31st, 2018, and this is the daily report for gold and silver. Although we are closing lower on the day and lower on the month, we are closing slightly higher on the week if we see any kind of an uptick tomorrow. Gold for today, $1302.70, putting it down about $3.80. An 11-cent decline in silver at $16.43, and a weaker U.S. dollar, $93.94. Dow Jones Industrial Average continues for the second day under pressure, today losing about 251 points, 24,415, and about a $200 gain in Bitcoin futures, 75.65 and 75.30 in the CBOE and CME futures exchanges. Interesting action as we move into the last day of May, in which gold will close higher on the week, but lower on the day and slightly lower on the month. In terms of a drawdown this month, it only dropped about a full percentage point, and considering that the dollar from its low to the high this month gained about 4.5%, actually held up rather well. Now, in terms of today's activity, we do have gold trading under pressure, currently off by about $3.80. We are looking at a daily chart of August gold, which is now the most active contract. We can see a couple of things that occurred today that are noteworthy. The first is the high. The high came in roughly at 1312 and actually broke above the 50-day moving average for the first time since the precipitous fall a few weeks ago, in which gold dropped by about $28 in a single day and then traded to this rounded bottom here, which took us to approximately $12.81 in terms of pricing. From that point forward, we have had a steady and methodical climb to higher pricing. Yesterday closing just at the psychological 50% retracement level, which resides at about 1,300. We can see that the market opened slightly above that price point, traded to a high breaking above the 50-day moving average, but was unable to sustain those gains and close lower on the day, currently 1302.70, with 1302 being that critical area. So, at least for the time being, this level appears to have now become a level of support rather than a level of resistance. And as we can see, historically speaking, throughout the year, this particular price point has served on more occasions as a support level, and only on one occasion, this recent occasion here, as an area of resistance. So I would expect this area to hold, and that was one of the targets that we had when we spoke about our upside potential on yesterday's show. Obviously, we have to get and sustain a close above the 50-day moving average, and as I said, I do not see any real major resistance up at around 1317. That is a 38% retracement. And the area that I would really believe we could see some potential resistance will be an area that lies in between the 200-day moving average, which is currently at 1322, and the 23% retracement area that resides at 1336. Of course, we pulled profits on our earlier trade. $5 if you had moved your stop up on Sunday, $13 if you simply rolled over from June into August. In either case, we made money. Now we are in a position right around this area, and I believe that initially we shouldn't have any real issues reaching a target of about 1317 to 1322 based upon the factors I just spoke about. Therefore, my recommendation is to maintain your current long position and to maintain your current stop. Traders, silver continues to trade in a narrow and tightly defined trading range, currently at $16.43, putting it down about 11 cents on the day. And the overall characteristics over the last couple of months have been that although on a couple of occasions silver has broken above both the 50 and the 200-day moving average, those events were short-lived and pricing quickly returned to actually go below the 50-day moving average. Currently, we had seen the market over the last 3 days pop back above the short-term average, but today, once again, break below it. Again, we have fairly strong support at about 1625. We do have a couple of bottoms that are slightly below that, but for the most part, we can see silver trading at a high of about 1670, 1665, and a low of 1625. I expect that trend to continue. And traders, lastly, I do want to take a look at Bitcoin futures. Bitcoin futures closing up about $210 at 75.30 today. What I find noteworthy in recent action is the fact that we were projecting a low to come in at around 7,200. That was based upon a 78% retracement. And earlier last week, we actually hit that target, breaking below that particular price point. However, we are seeing that for the first time since the market began to drop after reaching these highs just shy of 10,000, that we could in fact be attempting to form some sort of base or level of support here at 7,200. We can see that by the series of lows that come in, although we still have real resistance at approximately 7,800 and have not been able to even challenge that price point. The recent activity popping off of this price low here is in fact a bullish statement for the cryptocurrency, and if in fact we find support, our target is going to be 7,800 on the upside. A break below this, as we have been saying, would challenge these lows at 6,500 once again. My sense right now is after this pretty extended decline that we have seen, even if the market tracks lower, I wouldn't be surprised to see a dead cat bounce up to this level before returning to lower pricing. Traders, as we move towards the end of the month, we can say that this was a most interesting month. We had some hardship in terms of gold pricing as it broke below $1,300 for the first time this year. However, as of the last few days, it has recovered, and even with today's downtick, it is trading above that critical psychological level of 1,300 at 1,302. My sense is that number will now become support rather than resistance. This has been Gary Wagner, wishing you, as always, good trading. We'll talk to you tomorrow for the weekly wrap-up and review. Bye-bye.